What is good, guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video I wanted to do a quick one about the cables that you need to use for the SP404 Mark II. I've been getting a lot of questions about this on YouTube and on Instagram, so I thought I'd do a quick video to explain it. It's really not too complicated and you'll be able to understand it as soon as I've shown you in this video. So I've got the SP404 Mark II here, and you'll notice that if you look at the back of this device, there are two inputs, two outputs, and there's also USB, which is brand new to this. I'm going to ignore MIDI completely for this because this isn't really to do with MIDI this video, and also I don't really know anything about MIDI anyway. But yeah, you've got your two inputs, your two outputs. Now this has changed from the earlier versions that used to be phono or RCA, which were the small red and white cables. That's no longer going to be that useful for this particular device. You now have these two 1/4" jack inputs in the back. So if you have been using SPs up until now, the chances are you're going to have to change and start using something else, or you're going to have to buy some sort of adapter in order to be able to fit your RCA cables into the back of this. So if you do already have an existing RCA cable and you don't want to buy a new cable, then you can buy these little adapters, which I'll show you right now. These convert RCA or phono to a 1/4" jack, and then they can go directly into the back of your 404 Mark II. Now these are really useful if you want to chain SPs together. So let's say you want to use your SP303 with the Mark II or your 404 or whatever SP you've got. If you want to use that with this device, then the chances are you're going to need these adapters instead of buying a new cable. So you're going to put those adapters on the end of your RCA cable, and then you are going to put that in the back of your Mark II. That means you'll be able to get a signal to your Mark II from an older SP device or any device that uses RCA. So that could be a turntable, an amp, it could be anything. And this is a point actually that makes it quite difficult to answer this question, because it really depends on the source of your audio, where you're getting it from. Are you getting it from a record player? Are you getting it from a TV, from a radio? You need to look at what outputs that device has that you want to record from, and then convert it to be able to go into the back of your Mark II. So the end of the line is going to have to end with 1/4" jacks, whether that be through a cable or through an adapter. That's the main thing that you need to realize now with the change in inputs on the Mark II. The same goes if you want to go out of your Mark II into another device, and again it really does depend on what inputs this device has. But let's say for example you have an SP, an older SP, a legacy SP, you're going to need 1/4" jacks going out and then phono going into the back, or RCA going into the back of your SP device. So obviously you can use that same setup that I've already demonstrated, just reverse it. If you want to do both at the same time, so you're not having to constantly unplug and plug in cables, then you're going to have to buy a new cable. My advice personally is to get some of these cables. They're really useful. So they're RCA or phono at one end, and then at the other end they're 1/4" jack. Now I've had these for a long time because they've been useful for me plugging my SPs into my audio interface, and it just so happens now that the 404 Mark II has these 1/4" jack inputs, so I've been able to use these cables, and I use these pretty much all the time when I'm linking up an older SP with this new one. Now the last thing that I should mention is the Mark II now has USB, and this is probably now the main cable that I use. Again, you're gonna have to work out what output of USB your computer has. Mine's got USB-C, but I'm actually using a dongle to convert it to the normal USB. I can't remember what that type of USB is, but if you just think of a standard USB with the sort of half rectangle filled in and the half rectangle blank, I'm going from that at one end to USB-C into the back of the 404 Mark II. Now you can use that to sample into it from your computer, and you can use it to send audio to your computer as well, because this essentially is an audio interface now. So a USB cable, which is USB-C at one end and whatever you require at the other end, that's going to be super helpful as well. I would say I use that cable the most out of all the cables that I own for the Mark II. So I think that's pretty much everything you need to know, guys. For whatever purpose you need, there is definitely going to be either a cable or adapters for you to be able to do it. So if you need to go from phono to double jack, double 1/4" jack, there's cables for that, there's adapters for that. I own them all, and I've shown you in this video hopefully. Like I say, the main thing is to work out what output the device is that you're trying to get audio from, and then that needs to end up being a 1/4" jack to go into the back of the Mark II. So good luck with that one, guys. I hope this video helps. If there's something that I didn't cover and you still need to know the answer, then please let me know, but I'm pretty sure now you should have a good understanding of how you can get audio into your Mark II. Don't forget to visit spvids.com to buy drum packs for your next project. It really helps me keep going what I'm doing here, giving you all this advice and helping you out with the SP devices. I'd really appreciate it if you could do that. I've also got a Teespring store where I sell t-shirts, so if you could look at all the links in the description of how you can help support what I do, that would be really appreciated. Until next time, guys, keep making beats, and I'll be back with more tricks and tips very soon. Peace!